Some of the biggest Salesforce implementations run entirely on OmniStudio, and most consultants have never touched it. That gap is exactly why the Salesforce Certified OmniStudio Consultant certification stands out. It proves you can design guided workflows, integrate data, and build automated document solutions that real enterprise clients depend on. In this session, we'll walk through real exam-style practice questions so you can think like a certified OmniStudio consultant and pass the exam with confidence. Let's dive in. Question number 1. Which of the following is a key difference between integration procedures and DataRaptors? A. DataRaptors can access data from external sources. B. DataRaptors can invoke multiple actions in a single server call. C. Integration procedures can access data from external sources. D. Integration procedures can retrieve data from multiple related objects. Correct answer. C. Integration procedures can access data from external sources. Explanation: integration procedures are designed to perform multiple actions, such as calling DataRaptors, Apex, and external APIs, within a single server-side request. This improves performance by reducing the number of client-server calls. DataRaptors are primarily used for extracting, transforming, loading, and updating Salesforce data, not for orchestrating multiple actions. Question number 2. An OmniStudio consultant needs to link a new case to an existing contact, but the input data only contains the contact's name, not the Salesforce ID. How should the consultant use the data mapper load to resolve this Salesforce ID mapping? A. Map the contact name to the case. Contact ID field in the Mapping tab. B. Enable the AutoLink property within the Data Mapper Options tab. C. Configure a formula to convert the name string into a record ID. D. Define a lookup mapping on the contact object using the name field. Correct answer. D. Define a lookup mapping on the contact object using the name field. Explanation: the data mapper load must resolve the related contact record before it can populate the case, contact ID lookup field. Mapping the contact name directly into contact ID is invalid because contact ID expects a Salesforce record ID, not a text name. A formula cannot reliably convert a name string into a Salesforce ID. AutoLink is not the correct data mapper load mechanism. The proper approach is to define a lookup mapping that searches the contact object using the available field value, then uses the resolved contact record ID for the case relationship. Salesforce Data Mapper load documentation confirms that loads write data to Salesforce objects, and related object/link mapping patterns are used to populate lookup relationships between records. In a real project, a unique field is safer than name because names may not be unique. Question number 3. A public sector agency wants to digitize a paper-based permit application. The process requires a citizen to step through several screens of questions, upload a PDF document, and sign the application digitally. Which OmniStudio tool serves this specific use case? A. Calculation matrices. B. OmniScript. C. Integration procedures. D. FlexCards. Correct answer: B. OmniScript. Explanation: OmniScript is the correct tool because the requirement is a guided, step-by-step digital interaction. The citizen must move through several screens, answer questions, upload supporting documentation, and complete an application process. Calculation matrices are for rules-based calculations, not user-facing permit forms. Integration procedures handle server-side orchestration and integrations, but they do not provide the guided UI experience. FlexCards are used to display contextual information and actions, not to run a multi-screen application journey. Salesforce specifically positions OmniScripts as guided processes for customers, partners, and internal users, and Salesforce Public Sector documentation describes OmniScripts as tools for dynamic application forms for licenses, permits, programs, and services. Salesforce also supports file upload elements within OmniScripts. Question number 4. An enterprise architecture team is deciding between using Salesforce Flow or OmniStudio integration procedures for a specific integration scenario involving complex JSON transformation and multiple external API calls. Which justification supports choosing an integration procedure in this landscape? A. Restrict JSON handling. B. Perform server-side orchestration and JSON transformation. C. Require HTTP callouts exclusively. D. Execute entirely on the client side. Correct answer, B. Perform server-side orchestration and JSON transformation. Explanation. Integration procedures are the stronger fit when the scenario requires server-side orchestration, multiple external API calls, and JSON transformation. They are designed to coordinate data mapper actions, HTTP actions, conditional logic, response shaping, and integration steps in a single server-side process. That makes them suitable for OmniStudio solutions where the client should receive a clean, optimized response rather than manage multiple complex service calls. Option A is the opposite of the requirement because integration procedures support JSON handling rather than restrict it. Option C is too narrow because integration procedures do more than HTTP callouts. Option D is incorrect because integration procedures execute server-side, not entirely in the browser. Salesforce describes integration procedures as server-side processes for automating data operations between Salesforce and external systems. Question number 5. During a data mapper load execution, a record locking error occurs. What does this indicate about the data processing or volume? A. Individual record updates are failing due to a lack of field-level permissions. B. The target Salesforce record is currently being archived by a system job. C. The data mapper load exceeds the maximum batch size for the object. D. Multiple concurrent processes are attempting to update the same record. Correct answer. B. A collection of hosts configured to run specific workloads. Explanation. A record locking error normally indicates concurrent update contention. Two or more transactions are trying to modify the same Salesforce record or related locked records at the same time. During a data mapper load, this can happen when multiple users, automations, batch jobs, integrations, or OmniStudio processes attempt to update the same parent or child record concurrently. It is not primarily a field-level security issue. Permission failures produce authorization errors. It also does not automatically mean the record is being archived or that the object batch size has been exceeded. The fix is usually architectural. Reduce concurrent writes to the same record, serialize critical updates, review automation on the object, and avoid unnecessary parent record updates. Salesforce documents, unable_to_lock_row style behavior as a concurrent update/record lock problem. OmniStudio expertise sets consultants apart in a crowded Salesforce market. Passing the Salesforce Certified OmniStudio Consultant exam proves you can. Design and configure OmniScripts and FlexCards, build data integration procedures for complex business logic, implement guided workflows for enterprise clients, translate business requirements into scalable OmniStudio solutions. Don't rely on general Salesforce knowledge alone. This exam tests specialized ground. Use CertBoosters practice questions to sharpen your OmniStudio expertise, reinforce exam objectives, and walk into the exam ready to pass on the first attempt. Start practicing now via the link given in the description below, and stand out as a true OmniStudio specialist.